He who puts in the labor reaps the fruits. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody, to our third podcast. But today we have a special guest, Franklin, Dolov Lifts. Hello.
Let's go.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
So, from the title, we're going to be talking about effort and how much value you get from effort. So, I'm going to dive straight in. Today, I was playing tennis and I was practicing down the line shots. I had a goal of getting more than 8 in a row, and this was very difficult. So I told myself, all right, I'm going to put in 100% effort into every single ball separately, into every single shot. And it was tough. I was huffing and puffing at the end, of course, through my nose, breathing through my nose. But I felt victorious because I made 17 shots over and in, down the line in a row. I more than doubled my goal. And how is this possible? Because I put in the effort. Instead of being lazy with my feet, I was quick on the feet, agile, and I was putting so much more effort, and that is when I reaped the fruits. I more than doubled my goal because instead of being continuing to not put in as much effort like my younger self at that moment, I put in that effort, and my present self, after feeling victorious, had just achieved a great sensation and goal. So make sure whenever, for example, if you're exercising, make sure when you're in your first working set, make sure that you're going to be pushing yourself and focusing 100%. This includes composure, breathing, not looking around like an NPC, so you can really get the most out of that set. And that is pretty much what productivity is trying to make the most of your time. So everyone knows, oh yeah, I know what hard work is, hard work pays off. But are you really putting in that work? Are you really taking action? Come on, boys. Tim, are you taking action right now?
Yes.
What did you do that was...
Hit a nasty leg session with Dolov himself.
Of course, man, of course. And leg sessions, see, this is what I'd like to talk about a little bit, if you don't mind, David. My training style, high intensity training. Used by a lot of the GOATs, Mike Mensa, for example, Dorian Yates, probably the most prevalent example. And it's basically when you build up to one heavy working set on each exercise and push yourself to absolute failure. A lot of the time beyond failure with techniques like extra negatives, forced reps, and isometric holds at the end for certain things, such as leg extensions, for what we did today. And in my opinion, this kind of training shows perfectly what hard work can get you, because you're going in brief amount of time for each working set, but you're putting in maximum effort. And that is really what's let me grow a lot in my training.
We can also take that away, and people working hard, they you can see a lot of it in the gym, but not many people replicate that on the other side of not fitness but school activities or work. And so many people are just okay with average working, and when the going gets tough they just somewhat kind of give up, because I think society's made it okay nowadays just to, give up and like not push past your limits. And that's a little Black Clover quote, so passing your limits. So many people are just happy with being average now, and I think all of us can agree that being average is just not something
100%.
we want to be.
A lot of time as well, like you see, it's so normalised now. Whenever something's slightly difficult, instead of pushing through it, people just go, "Oh, that's bare long, G."
Yeah,
Nah, man, nah, kids, and they'll just get on with it. They don't.
that is so true.
It's like, no, it's long. I can't be asked, man.
Yeah, instead of
Why? Why
accepting...
can't you be? Accept,
Instead of
adapt, overcome.
accepting, adapting, and overcome, they just look at the negative and try to make a joke out of it. Like
Exactly.
you'll see this every day. People make excuses because they don't want to. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to reap the fruits after putting in maximum effort. You hear, oh yeah, it's long, G. Like Franklin said, I'm too tired. Oh yeah. I'm not good enough for all this rubbish. But you just gotta believe. Destroy that limiting belief, and you will be able to study for an hour. You will be able to discipline yourself.
Yeah, I also think working hard also really comes down to believing in yourself as an individual, and I think myself as well. I lack this a lot, and Franklin could probably tell you in the gym. I don't even know my own limits sometimes, and I'm kind of slacking off, as he likes to say, and I'm not putting 100% effort. But I think that does come from just stopping, taking the time, and just believing in yourself, because you can push harder than you ever think you can.
Exactly. Where you think your limit is, all the time, 100%, no matter what it is, where you believe your limit is, you can go beyond that.
Hmm.
100% you can go beyond that. You just got to push yourself past that point. And that's the
It's like
thing.
Dave.
Second, it gets difficult. No one wants to.
Hmm.
But once you push past that point of maximum difficulty, that's when you'll get the points that really matter. The last few reps in a set in the gym, for example. In school, I can't really think of any school examples properly for that. Sorry.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like David Goggins said, that whenever the going gets tough, you're only at 40% capabilities of your mental strength. You're at, imagine that you 40%. You can more than double the maximum capacity. You can more than double your performance.
Hmm.
If you can really unlock that potential by putting that effort in, you're going to be so much more productive. You're going to go so much faster in a smaller amount of time, and you're going to be so impressed of the progress you make. For example, I would say when I started out with the gym, my legs were stronger than Tim's. But now, because Tim's been training so intensely, every single training session with Franklin, especially, who's a great partner, he's putting in that work. He's every single set he's going into failure almost, and I think his legs may be stronger than mine now. He's hitting 110 kg squats. Oh man, beautiful! I'm so impressed with you, honestly. And
Thanks, man.
for example, today this is one example. He did was it 90 kg for six?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did 90 kg for five. Of course, we're not trying to compare and say that I'm worse than him. You should only
It's
compare
healthy
yourself
competition.
to your
Healthy
younger
competition.
self. Of course, it's healthy competition, and it's a way to show you how putting in effort in every single session, consistent sessions, is gonna make you grow. And he's grown so much, and I'm so proud of you, man. Well done.
Cheers, man. Also, that comes to the fact that if you have someone there pushing you every single step, because you yourself as have a limit of like believing in yourself and stuff. But if you have someone like I have Franklin or David, whenever I go to the gym, I have someone who's there just to push me and push me and push me further and further than, as Greg Doucette would say, harder than last time, because you yourself sometimes can have that limit, and someone believing in you is so beneficial. And I'm so glad I
Oh
have Franklin
yes,
and David for that.
yeah, same.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
What I think this links to is having the right friends, because you don't want to have these friends that are very negative. You can of course help try to bring them up, but it's very very helpful if you have friends who are positive, push themselves, they believe in themselves, they believe in you, and both of you can grow and watch each other grow and flourish because of delayed gratification.
But so many people have lost the idea of having, I put this in air quotes, friends. So many people call people friends, and we always say this, we always go on about this, but so many people call people friends, but when the going gets tough, they either leave them, or they just find a way to pick on them or make stuff up about them. And so many people, they have friends, but they don't actually know the true meaning of a friend.
100%. So many times people are willing to just chuck their supposed mate under the bus for a little bit of gain for themselves, even if it's just a bit of short-term pleasure. It's nothing really substantial in the long run. People are so quick to just chuck each other under the bus. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, go David.
can you give me an example, Franklin? Like you don't have to name any names.
Um, hmm. Well, I'll give you an example. I won't use any proper names. We'll call the guy Steve, right? So I had a mate Steve, and he obviously, as you do at this age, quite interested in talking to girls, and he was quite interested, obviously. And to try and impress this girl, kept talking loads of smack about me behind my back. I don't know exactly what was said at this point in time, but this Steve guy, he'd just be talking so much about me to this girl, like saying, "Oh, he's a nobody, he's stupid, he thinks he's hard, he's not," stuff like that, stuff along those lines, trying to big himself up. And I was like, one, it's all fabricated, and two, I thought this guy was my mate, and he's gone and done that just to get a bit of attention from a girl who, realistically, it ended out didn't even like him in the slightest.
Exactly, and how many people were just, like
Big
you
L.
said, just willing to chuck someone under the bus. And also, I think people make these mates or friends just to talk rubbish behind their backs. So it's a conversation starter. It's a conversation topic. Like you said, people our age are interested in talking to girls, and if they can bring up something a mate or a friend they've done in the past, and they can embarrass them or make fun out of them just to get that instant that small amount of pleasure, just to talk to that girl and break the ice. Like, really,
Exactly.
you're so worried about how the conversation's going with the girl that you would just ditch your mate and just chuck them under the bus.
I know,
It just
'cause
makes no sense.
it's the sad truth, but it's easier for so many people to talk smack and bring someone else down than it is to bring themselves up.
Yeah.
I would like to add that with that example that Franklin said, there were two completely opposite people. Franklin, who maybe put in an effort for delayed gratification, and Steve, who is putting so much effort for instant gratification. Now, there's a fine line, it's like a bold line between putting effort in for delayed gratification and instant gratification. Now you know yourself if you're putting effort in instant gratification, if you're scrolling like a thirsty dog like never before, or you're really trying to impress this girl just for what, a snap, or just to be able to waste your time even more and to send snaps of the sky and the ceiling and half your face. Like, come on, bro. That's never gonna help your future self. But Franklin, on the other, he may be using the what irritated him to push himself in the gym, put that effort in, so he does reap those fruits.
Yeah. Also,
So make sure you understand this difference between effort in delayed gratification and instant gratification is very clear and transparent.
so many people also, like, they lack so much motivation. They lack so much motivation that they take motivation away from people. You see people in our school, they're sitting there with their heads on the desk, or they're going around just drawing all that energy out of people that may have had a good start to the day, may have done some revision in the first period or second period, but it's like they drag the life energy out of you because they talk about the most pointless, useless things. And when you don't
Admittedly, I
have,
feel like I'm guilty of this in some occasions,
but
so I'll put my hands up here and admit that.
it's okay, but you're
My bad.
admitting it, you're accepting that you do it, but some people don't.
First step.
Yeah, exactly. Some people don't accept that they draw energy out of people, and they like to complain and make excuses and just moan constantly, and that's not what we want. And if you really want to work hard, you have to find that motivation, and just for the time being, focus on yourself and improving yourself, because when you do that, then you can actually help other people.
Yeah, and with what Tim was saying, you will hear constantly the excuse, like, if someone irritates someone else, oh, it's just jokes, G. Like, oh, that was jokes, that was bare jokes. But alright, it might be jokes in the present, but like, you might actually be hurting that person's feelings. You might be annoying them, and you're bringing them down. Ultimately, no one wants to be brought down. Everyone wants to be respected, to be helped, which is why we're here, of course.
Yeah, and also so many people, like you said, they want to be brought up, and everyone just brings everyone like down, and then it's like the other podcast we made as well, but so many people would just focus on the negatives instead of the positives. If they did struggle in a maths test, what are they going to say? They're just going to be like, oh yeah, I was unlucky, that question, I just didn't know that one question, or it was okay, I didn't go to bed until that. And they just make excuses, and they're making excuses just because they're not working hard enough, and
They're getting out of accepting, adapting, and overcoming by refusing to accept in the first place that they're the one in the wrong.
and if you don't accept, you can't do the rest. And David would tell you that all the time.
Exactly. You can't accept, you can't adapt. If you can't adapt, how can you overcome? Simple.
And you will not grow simply just like that. Accepting is very crucial if you want to put in effort, because if you can accept that you're making excuses and you adapt by stopping to make excuses, you're going to open a whole new set of doors to your potential, right? You might have For example, today I was hitting leg stead too. You might know you're going to be having a heavy set, but your little lizard brain might come out and make excuses. Oh yeah, this is too heavy. You might injure yourself, or it's getting late. You've been too long at the gym. If you destroy those limiting beliefs, those excuses, by accepting that you may have these excuses, but you know back in your head that you really want to be able to build that 10 out of 10 body, you really want to be able to be stronger, and you let no excuses touch your mind or your conscious, you're going to grow so much. So make sure you're stopping these excuses and letting yourself put in effort whenever.
I also think the hard work is, as you said in one of your videos before this, hard work is a very, very, very important skill. We are now, it's rare to see someone with a good work ethic, and I'll hold my hands up and I'll say my work ethic is not the best and I'm trying to improve it. But so many people have not unlocked that skill of hard work, and we always use this analogy as well. They give up at the first hurdle, and they don't want to get back up. They just want to lie on the grass, which is their bed, and just scroll or just indulge in instant gratification. And that is where society is going wrong nowadays, and they're just not working hard enough.
So next time you're going to be studying, you're going to be in that gym hitting a working set, make sure, tell yourself, I want to be able to feel proud of myself at the end of this set. And you're going to remain composed. You're going to look only at what you're doing. And if you don't think you can do that, believe in yourself. If you can't do it, well, I believe in you. So make sure you put in that work and reap the reward.